Hi, girly.
Hi, girly.
I'm Eliana,
I'm Derek,
and this is
the book club
For
for
the
the
Girlies.
girlies.
On today's episode, we're going to be chatting about
From Scratch by Tembi Locke,
part
Part
two.
2.
Yay! And before we get started, you guys,
Mm-hmm.
please make sure that you like, comment, share this video, and that you are subscribed to our channel. Also, make sure that you hit the notification bell to make sure that you are notified for whenever we're posting. Sorry about that.
Also, make sure that you have followed us on all of the socials.
Mm-hmm.
The links are down in the description box below. Make sure that when you are commenting, that you are always being kind. That's
Mm-hmm.
being kind to each other. Be kind to the authors, and please be kind to us.
Yes.
Okay. Also, there will be spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna get into it in this episode. So if you have not read this book and you don't like spoilers, please don't turn this video off. Just turn it down a little bit low, not all the way off. Let's get that view count. Go read and hurry up and come back so we can talk.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump right
Right
into
in.
our standout moments.
Whoop whoop. I don't know why I did that.
Wow. Okay. What do you
Uh
got for us today?
Coming in hot and heavy from the right at the beginning.
Ooh.
Favorite moment. One of my favorite moments. The fact that he had on a t-shirt with the word destiny written on it the day they met, the first time they meet,
Yeah.
I said, what in the world?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
You and me both. I remember that too.
I literally wrote when I my heart is breaking already because
Hmm.
WTF.
Yeah.
That was at 9:40 in the morning.
So she was basically saying he was very attractive, but also he was dressed crazy. And then on top of that, his shirt said Destiny.
Destiny. Now me, y'all gonna have me out here looking at me in shirts.
Right? No, what was crazy is that in that moment I was thinking, do you know how many people saw him that day with that shirt? And I wonder if somebody thought to themselves anything about that shirt. Because I
Mm,
probably would have.
you would have, for sure.
That's who I am.
It would have stood out to you as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite moments is also from the beginning parts of the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's when he stood outside her apartment waiting for her until 3 a.m.
Eliana.
Okay, so the quote goes, on one side of it, he showed me the kind of love I could have in my life with a man who was undeterred in his commitment, unafraid, clear about what he wanted, someone determined above all else to stand for love no matter what, no matter how, no matter.
Mm.
What? He stood outside of her door in the rain from like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. and all he said was, I'm so glad you woke up.
Weep. Because, like, the double meaning on that. Because it was also when she realized, like, oh, this is how I want to be loved. Like,
Yeah,
he loves me.
yeah.
This is it. Like, I don't ever want to lose this.
Mm-hmm.
And then for him to say, I'm glad you woke up. Are you, is this a fairy tale? Like, what?
But also tying it back to when he does pass away, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
He wakes back up.
Mm-hmm.
And then hmm, he's like apologizes to her. Yeah, I think that's one of my moments too. But anyway, keep
Yep.
going.
Another moment that stood out to me is bringing it a little back. Um, she says, for the next month, so this is after they've met, and they're having like these great conversations.
Mm-hmm.
After work, he would like wait for her, or she would wait for him, kind of whatever. They would meet up after work. He'd come to her job, and she says, "For the next month, I left no entry long before his restaurant closed, and thereby avoided reliving the awkwardness I had created between us the night of the bike." Oh, this is after he gives her the bike,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just like, "Why would he do this? Like, this is too nice." And I was like, "Tim be swishing me, cause girl, just take a gift, take a present." And also going out of your way to avoid an
Yeah.
awkward situation.
Also, how crazy is that to accept a gift and then, like you said, go out of your way to never see that person again? That's crazy.
That's my twin.
That's
I
insane.
would
You
3000% do
have
that.
problems.
Well, yeah.
That's why I can't live with you.
It's okay.
So my next one is actually what I was just talking about. When I pulled back the pocket door, his face was looking toward the door. He was staring straight at me. I could hear what I knew were his final shallow breaths. Oh, my love. I crawled into bed with him. A single tear had formed in his eye. I'm sorry I made you wait. I fell asleep, but I'm here now. I'm here. I wrote, my heart was aching here, still actively choosing to love her even in his dying moments.
Mm. Yeah, it was definitely one of my moments too. Let's
Don't
have a quote
start
from there. I'm not
crying.
gonna cry. It was just
Yeah.
yeah. I
You and me both, Tembi, we both realized this is how we would want to be loved.
right. 3,000 and the fact that like you can be loved that way
I,
was just crazy to me. When I say I was sobbing at my desk, literally, are you okay? And I was like, yeah,
just stunned.
just floored, honestly. Do you know what? So I'm sobbing at my desk, and then a moment that really it like sucker punched me. I literally audibly sobbed.
What?
Then I called Nona
Oh!
and says he's gone. He's gone. I said. Her voice wailed before I could form more words. Then it went silent. I could hear her out on the other end of the line as she cried. I was literally, it was her, she wailed. And I said, oh my God.
Yep.
I couldn't imagine getting that
That was
call.
in my tearjerker quotes, and all I wrote was Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was, yeah, same.
I wrote, I sobbed so hard.
Yeah.
Um,
It was awful.
my next moment was okay when they're in Sicily
Mm-hmm.
and they're the family won't come visit them because they have to do what the dad says. And Franca and Nona devised this plan.
A ruse.
Yes, a ruse. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, where the family, the extended family, will go out every day to see him.
It's giving my big fat Greek wedding.
Literally, what I'm getting to is I wrote, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck, and she can control wherever the head needs to go. Okay,
Okay.
because they were following, whatever.
Nona.
They were following his lead. Okay, you're the head. We're gonna respect you, but we gonna force you there
Yeah.
in a way you don't even realize.
100%.
Oh, Nick, you so smart. And it really gets the man. Oh my God! Wow, Gus, you're so smart, so good. Favorite
Okay.
moment. Okay.
A little
Mm.
fast forward when they had, I mean, a lot fast forward, when they
Mhm.
had Soyla making the sauce. I thought it was so significant that the woman said, everything in this sauce comes from here, everything comes from this land.
Mm.
Just like that just stuck out to me like
Mm.
a sore thumb.
I
I
like
don't,
that too.
yeah.
When he told her that she should take a lover.
Ah!
What do you mean? What do you mean? I was like, this guy here.
He's
He's too
always
much.
so great.
He's
It's
too
like,
much.
why? Why are you so great?
Honey, please. Like, stop.
Can't you just be awful for like
For
10
1 second,
seconds?
even when she's awful, and he's like, don't be like that. I'm like, be mad back. He don't got it in him.
Like,
That's just not who he was,
you could never
man.
be mad at him, and that would make me mad.
That would make me so mad.
I also love that Tembi made Soyla write a postcard to herself every summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I wrote that I love the things that parents think of to enrich their kids' lives.
Girl, we be simpatico. Cause so it's also um they're having a conversation
Mm-hmm.
and it's Zoila says, who will take care of me if you die?
Mm-hmm.
And, she just, I'm well and healthy. I'm here for you. I plan on being here to see you grow old. She says my answer had become a mantra because Zoila was struggling, obviously. Um, she's, I don't, you don't know that for sure. She says, you're right. None of us knows when we will die. What matters is that we are alive now, and I'm here with you right now. And I wrote, there's something to be said about like intentional parenting,
Mm-hmm.
and my heart like swelled up reading their moments with Zoila because they were such great parents.
Yeah.
Um and you don't have to give birth to somebody to parent them
Mm-hmm.
or to be great parents to them. You know what I mean? To have that connection, that bond for them to be of you. And I don't know, I just thought it was something to be said about like loving like that. Like they like knowing that you're loved.
Yeah. No, I agree. They were very intentional, and there were moments where it, like you said, you don't have to birth a child for the child to be yours. And but it also stood out to me when in moments where she'd say Soyla has Saro's focus, and obviously we know that she's not biologically Saro's. So the focus, it wouldn't have been natural, which is,
Yeah.
how we get a lot of our characteristics from our parents. It would be more of like them nurturing her and her
Hmm.
seeing her parents behave in certain ways. And so
Hmm.
with intentional parenting,
Which they really were.
yeah, you're really molding her into someone who will look back at every little thing that they ever did and will understand.
That really got to me too. Just truly the way they were with her. When he dies and she like wakes her up and she brings her into the room,
Mhm.
to sit with him. The fact that she like spoken with the
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 grief
hospital,
counselor,
yes,
yeah.
to like how do I Zoila, like how do I help her get through
Mhm.
this? Taking like it was just so much done with her in mind,
Mhm.
and that just moved me so much to know that like yeah, I feel like if it was me in this situation,
Mhm.
it would move me to know, like, especially because Will's an adult now,
Mhm.
to be like, oh my gosh, like, my mom, my parents really care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they really did their big one.
Yeah. And to think that, like, my mother, not only did she carry on, because a lot of people do, a
Mm
lot of people do lose a spouse
hmm. Mm hmm.
when their child is young, but she was like still reading, learning throughout the
Mm
process,
hmm.
like actively seeking out professionals
Yeah.
to help me, even though she was probably going through probably one of the worst bouts of depression she's ever
Oh,
experienced in her
absolutely.
life.
And she said that, like, she'd get up, and take, make drop Zoila off at school, and she'd come back home and she'd just be, like, in bed.
Yeah. And like couldn't handle Wednesdays.
Mm hmm.
Yeah. So my last moment was, it's one of the final moments of the book. And she writes, there at the table it was clear that being with Saru had been like weaving a beautiful complicated tapestry. After his death, being with his family was like looking at the flip side of that tapestry. The stitching showed, the bulky knots, the places where the
Mm.
fringe had frayed, but it was still part of the same beautiful piece. That
So pretty.
I know, it's specifically, it stuck out to me and I wanted to ignore it, but I kept having to reread it and reread it. I just needed to write it down and say it because although I feel like we've talked about it before and it's so cliche, but it's better to have loved than to have never loved at all. So that
Right.
was it. Just stuck out to me. Needed to say it at some point.
Okay, my last standout moment was uh, when Jean and Aubrey go to Sicily. when they arrive in Sicily, rather,
Mhm.
and it was Nona's, who does not speak English, and wasn't really like the warmest woman forever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And she's like, "Ciao, Jean. Ciao, Aubrey," and it like hit me. She's like, "Like, come in. Let's eat or whatever." She'd been preparing the food all day for days.
Mhm.
Um, that was the first thing out of her mouth was like, "What do they like?" And vice versa. Aubrey called like, "What does Nona like?"
Mhm.
And I wrote again. There was this respect, and this effort that was made for each other that I just feel like is missing in life in general.
Yeah.
That people don't have that kind of like care and respect anymore.
Yeah. We're missing a lot of charitable spirit.
You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like it was the simplest, just her saying their names, like, "Hi," like, "Welcome," was just so
There's
nice to me.
it's it's warmth.
Yeah,
We
and
miss
so
warmth.
foreign to me at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah, we're in 2025.
It's
Okay,
like
bring it back, ladies and gents.
yeah, I also feel like this is why we all are like, let's go on vacation and let's ditch the United States and let's go
Mm,
live somewhere abroad, whatever. Life is so much slower over there, but it's because they take the time
mm-hmm.
to
There's culture,
appreciate, yeah, to appreciate the life that they have.
and with culture comes tradition, and
Yeah,
you instill those kind of things.
respecting tradition rather than, I'm sorry, we respect money.
Yeah, of course.
We don't respect family. We don't respect moral
Mm-mm.
values. We don't respect religion. We don't respect, there's like nothing here that we respect. We
You know
respect money, making it, spending it.
who got it, who don't. That's all it boils down to. So it's important
It's exhausting
to.
to like have actually said, I'm sorry.
No, it is. I'm actually very grateful to have a mom who's not like that at all, and who was raised by a man who's not
Yeah.
like that at all, for sure. Cause it's upsetting.
Our next segment is tearjerker quote or meaningful quote. Do you have any quotes,
Do
pal?
I have
Right. Like, I
quotes?
got quotes on quotes on quotes.
Quotes on quotes on
Okay,
quotes.
girl.
Okay. I just. Oh! This could have been a moment, but whatever. It's going to be a quote. He says, I just ran here in the hopes that you would not have. Sorry. Why am I reading like it's because I can't see. I just ran here in the hope that you would not have left. And she
Mm,
says, did he just say in the hope?
in the hope.
Um, yeah, it just wow. Like again, it's the like this man acted like he's just intentional. He's an intentional human being, but I don't even know if it's intentional. I feel like it's just natural. It's
Yeah.
just who he is,
Yeah.
and it was. Oh, he gave me butterflies.
I loved him.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first quote was right at the beginning. Not even anything Tembi wrote herself. It was the literal quote at the beginning by Khalil Gibran or Gibran. I don't know how to say the
Let
last
me
name.
see. That's fine. I
Think
believe
not,
you.
it goes, think not you can direct the course of love. For love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course.
Mmm.
I'm getting chills reading it again. That was already deep, the opening quote, right there.
Oh yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
It does direct your course. You don't have a choice.
You
That's what
don't
it
have a
is.
choice.
It's so crazy to me.
And that goes for like love, like relationship. That goes for like mothers.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that all the time. Yeah, and that goes for so many different um relationships that we see in the book too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I like that. Go ahead. Um,
Khalil.
go ahead, Khalil. Okay, this is Timby. She says, "No man had ever heard a need of mine in passing and manifested it days later."
Mm.
But then another thought crept in. Nothing comes for free. And I was like, look at my two personalities. Or my coming, it's like, wow, you have that. First of all, I love that she said that, and I love that she felt that,
Hmm.
and that she was experiencing that. But then also, I was like, facts. It was like we were raised the same way. But like, no, what you want? And it's like, girl, we got our
Hmm.
guards up all the time. Like, that mean I don't want nothing from you. Just your time.
It's just giving you a bike.
Yeah. You said you needed a car. You wish you had a bike, so I got your bike.
Again with the Americanness of it all.
Of course. What do you want?
Yeah. Of course the Italian ran to make sure that you were still there and gave you a bike.
So sweet.
What? Anyway, my next quote. It was a life I had stumbled into by chance when we literally collided under the awning of the best gelateria in all of Italy. Luck, fate. One look, and I could see he had the kind of deep brown eyes that carried stories and that would entice me to tell mine. His profile could have been lifted from an ancient Roman coin, and his configuration of features, olive skin, firm jawline, and head of wavy, charcoal black hair, conjured a vision of me entangling myself with his body that came to me like a crack of lightning on a clear day. I said, "Mi scusi," in my best college Italian. He said, "Hello," back without a moment's hesitation. Right then, the fire met the pan. All I said was, "Wow, for this to be real?" Like, we talked about this. I forget what book it was. We talked about this in the sense of, do, do you know? Did did she know in the moment that it was happening? Obviously, she knew. So there are people who've had that experience, and they know.
Mm.
For that to be your real life is crazy,
I
girlfriend. God
know.
bless you.
I love that you've experienced love.
Applause for you.
She sits down to tell Zola that,
Mm.
what's going on. 7 years old, and she said, I know. I know he's dying, and it's breaking my heart.
Ma'am, I was a puddle. I have that here too, and I wrote I was a puddle.
A baby.
A 7-year-old.
Oh my
I know he's
gosh.
dying, and it's
And
breaking
it's
my heart.
breaking my heart.
Can you imagine a
No.
7-year-old
No.
telling you that? I can't handle that. I'm losing my mind just imagining
And
it.
it was exactly the moments that Timby had afterwards where it's like I so badly wanted to be like, oh no, baby, no, 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 not that. And all she said was, it's breaking mine too.
Ugh. Okay, let's bring it back to the love. So Sato says, I have an endless thirst of love, the love of your body and soul. Again, all I said was Jesus. What is with this man?
Italiano.
What's going on? Like, I just met
So
you.
poetic.
What are you
Are
saying?
you real life?
Why are you saying this?
Are you real life?
How did you come up with this? No, genuinely, I want to be like,
Somebody pinch me. And I don't mean
cause
that in
like
like a, oh my god, pinch me. I
this is
mean
where
like,
I do relate to Tembi, because I'd be like, girl, stop. If a man ever said that to me, am I gonna take it serious? No. But also, he was being honest. He was being serious.
that's what was so good about him is that like he'd say these like kind of outlandish things. Like
Absolutely
you're
outlandish.
like, what in the world? And
You mean
he meant
every
every single word. Like it was just
word?
it was just him. And you'd have to be like, all
All
right,
right.
how can I like is it's never gonna be better than this.
No. God bless Saddle.
More sad stuff, sorry. He says to her, they're laying in bed together, and he says, where am I going? He asked, looking at me but through me. I don't know, but I think it's beautiful. It's full, and you'll be peaceful. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know either. Back to the love. Sato says, I think we could be something great. And it's from when he misses the date. And I said, this is when I said, damn, what is this, a fairy tale? Like, what are you saying?
I think we could be. Imagine someone saying that.
I think we could be something great.
Bleh. Like, oh no! Like, I'm so unserious. I would not be able to take that.
I would need a full thesis of why you think we could be something great.
You would. That's true. You really would. It's amazing.
If
You
you
become a
want,
lawyer.
if you want, diagrams might also be helpful.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, a, a full deck. Canva is really great for a deck. Just putting it out there.
Unserious. But so serious.
Very serious. We're gonna get into some of the ones that made me cry.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Probably, I have so many. Go ahead, girl.
I held on to Sato's journey to his gurney, as if it might roll away if I didn't hold on. He had never left the hospital on a gurney.
Mm.
The imagery of it
You
was
know?
awful. And then there was the grief counselor who said, you must let her be part of this process. When her father dies, bring her to him, and do not let them take his body away without her seeing it. Let her have a moment with him, let her touch him, ask her how it feels. This is important. She'll need to remember how his skin felt. She'll
Mm-hmm.
need to remember how his skin felt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you asked me if I related to anybody, I was actually thinking that I would relate to Soila.
Mm.
Because, like, my grandmother's death is very vivid to me. I was there. I know what time it was. I know everything I did. I know everything that happened step by step.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it all. And then my grandfather's death. I remember it. I wasn't there though. And so I still struggle with things like the idea of going back to his house. I don't ever want to do that. And mom wants us to go to his cemetery. I don't ever want to do that either. And so I just thought it was really, it just hit me when she was repeating what the grief counselor told her, that she needed to be part of the process, because I always tell this to people that it is very important. I think you should be there
Mm-hmm.
when your loved one passes away.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people think that they can't handle it, and I understand. But man, if you can make it there, I think you should. I think it's very important.
I
Anyway.
agree. No, I agree. Mom never shied, like, kept death away from us. We went to funerals. I've been going to
Yeah.
funerals my whole life. And, people don't, but they're too young. Mom's like, death is a part of life.
Yeah.
They knew him when he was alive? Oh, yeah. No, they need to experience this. Zoila cried from 8 p.m. until nearly midnight each night,
Ugh.
asking for her father back. That's all wow. My heart breaks for her. I don't.
Hmm. The next one where I cried was Zoila, as always. She said, "Everyone comes here for you. He was my
Mm,
dad. Why don't they come for me?" I was
me
crying.
too,
Do you
girl.
hear me?
Crying,
Yeah.
okay? Yeah.
And I loved that, like, then she invited her friends
Mm-hmm.
and they did their own, like, morning practice and they danced, and that was just so great. It's like you said, intentional parenting, but
Yeah.
also just naturally who they both are.
Mm-hmm.
That they want
and definitely like led by him,
Hmm.
the way he was, just naturally, oozed and bled into their lives, just the way it was there was also their natural like instinct. Yeah, that was especially her, the friends coming over.
The other thing I wanted to say about Sato and Tembi's parenting was, yes, intentional, yes, natural. But most importantly, I think it was so obvious that they wanted her to live.
Hmm.
Like, as they had found themselves actually living their life, I feel like Tembi found herself finally when she was in Italy, and Sato obviously I don't know when his journey started with this. I don't know if he was always like this, but I think they were instilling in her living,
Hmm.
being here, being present, and doing what feels right to you. And it was just so great.
Yeah, she says that at some point in the book about like her ancestors, and like what living was to them, like having
Hmm.
your own land, like her grandmother was able to do that. She was like me, you know, traveling and like
Hmm.
living and like that was living. You're right.
Yeah.
It was definitely a huge part of their lives. Shout out to them.
My
Word.
last one, it's really long.
Okay.
And it goes, coincidence and fate are two words for the same phenomenon. The coincidence of a chance meeting in Florence had fated me to stand here decades later, thousands of miles from my home of origin, but simultaneously in a home I had chosen, tasting my first flavors of renewal. Sato's love, his life, and his loss had forged me, softening me to life and strengthening me in the broken places. As the statue was carried down the steps and the procession began, I did not move. There was nowhere to go just then. The journey for the moment was complete. Inside me, I felt a bitter-sweet evolution. I would leave this place aware that there was a lot of living to come. The wound of loss had become a scar of love. I knew that in whatever experience was yet to come, I would be ever more in love with the poet chef in elf boots who had lit the fire for a lifetime. Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
Coincidence and fate are two words for the same phenomenon.
She was spitting.
The coincidence of a chance meeting in Florence had fated me to stand here decades later.
Hmm.
Oof.
She was spitting.
And so I hope you live so that you may one day be able to write a book just like Tembi.
Hmm. I just want to know why he died.
Hmm.
Some kids ask, "Why is the sky blue? Why can't my tongue touch my nose?" This was my daughter's why. Sweetheart, he was sick, very sick for a long time. What I know is that he fought to stay alive as long as he could because he wanted to be there for you. She said, "Oof, well, I don't like loving him. It hurts." Okay. Okay. Because, like, she's 7 and she has the emotional like capacity to like articulate that
Yeah.
instead of just acting out. She can say like she go ahead, parents. Just go ahead, y'all. Um and then this one really hit me in the gut and I had to pause. It had now been 52 Wednesday mornings since Sorrow had died.
Hmm.
Enough Wednesdays for Zola to get taller, her baby teeth to become fewer, enough Wednesdays for her to ask me again and again, why did Babo die? And I can remember like it just took me back a lot of why I related to her too. Again, like I said, was the grief. And like when I was like knee deep in my grief, um, that's what it was for me. It was like, oh, it's been 10 Sundays. Oh, it's been 13 Tuesdays. Like, even still, like I know like my grandma died Tuesday. October 22nd, 2019, my grandfather died. Sunday, August 25th, 2019. But like that hit me hard. I was like, yeah. Oh, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. That's how
No,
I was thinking.
no.
We all experience that. Grief
Yeah.
is ugly. It's life, but it's harsh. When she was discussing that she had had 3 marriages with Sarah,
Mhm.
and she said, I just thought it was really pretty. He was no more gone from my life than the moon is gone from the sky in daylight. He was everywhere, yet unseen. Learning to exist in that kind of love would take time. Time is maybe the most critical aspect of loss. Amen, girl. There's not a day that goes by that we don't talk about my grandpa. I don't think about my grandma. Like, and like she said, it's like you're gone from the physical, but you're like they're not gone because they're
Mm-mm.
in us. And then my last quote, um, she said, the end, the 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 parade that was on her birthday and also
Mhm.
her wedding anniversary, and she says, "The wound of loss had become a scar of love." It's like okay,
Mhm.
I think it ties into what you said. It's better to, or the old saying, is it better to not
Mhm.
loved and not whatever? You know what they say.
We know what they
You know
say.
what the kids are saying. Okay,
Are you ready, girlies?
are you ready? Ready?
Because
Ready?
we
Ready?
are
Ready?
heading
Ready?
into what did you learn? Derek, do you have anything you learned from this novel?
Yes, ma'am.
What'd you learn then?
I learned
Hmm?
to be fearless,
Okay.
to be forgiving and understanding.
Okay.
Okay, learned that from Nona and
No.
and and Timby's relationship.
Yes.
I couldn't get it out, guys. Also reiterated how to show up for the people you love because life is too short. So just remember to do that. But the biggie, okay, those are all great. You knew Jesus had a grandma?
Yes.
I did not know Jesus had a
Well,
grandma.
I'm Catholic.
Well, that's true. I am not.
Santa Ana.
She said, Santa Ana. I had since learned she was the mother of Mary, the grandmother of Jesus. I said, Jesus had a grandma. Go
Hmm.
ahead now. I'm just like Jesus for real.
He didn't come just from anybody.
Okay.
He from Anna.
It's one thing to be the mama, right? Like,
The grandma's the baby.
but the grandma is the baby. What did you learn, Miss E?
Ah, few things. So, one, her dad says there are many people, maybe even thousands, that you can love, but there are a few people, maybe only one or two on the planet, that you can love and live with in peace. The peace part is the key.
Come on. Come on, Jean.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree because I have loved plenty of people in my life. We've talked about this that like I could be very easy to make friends at work, and everybody is for everything, and that's that on that.
Okay.
Give love absolutely, but know where it like certain things need to be placed.
Mm-hmm.
Other thing I learned was I never want to treat my kids or anyone for that matter in a way that causes them to turn inward on themselves. I think
Mm.
there's a way to be firm without crushing people. So like Sato's dad said, I have no son.
Yeah.
And he was devastated and she saw him retreat inward on himself and oh my
I
gosh.
never want to make anybody feel like that.
No, and I feel like I see that so much in like the parent child relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they treat it as if like that's what's supposed to happen. And I don't believe that. At least that's not what I would want to be as a parent.
Yeah.
And then oh, Sato was someone. who was able to somehow keep an eye toward the future, even in the face of a diagnosis, protecting what might be, which was when, after he got his diagnosis, they went to a sperm bank.
That was
And I
crazy.
said, I need this.
Yeah.
And I also said, I am this way.
Hmm.
So I guess I did kind of relate to Saddle too in that way.
Look at this. Okay, I do have one theory, guys.
Oh.
Okay. So, you know how, I don't know, I know you, but like, I believe that like when your loved one passes away, they're on the other side and they're working for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are taking care of you from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't lost on me that Timby had sacrificed so much and did so much for her family while Saro was, suffering from his illness, and that she was able to write this story and it became a New York Times bestseller and then a popular Netflix show. And I was like, there ain't nobody but Saro
Yeah.
guiding you, sister.
And loving you
And love
big
from
like
the
he
other
he
side.
always has.
Come on. That's my theory.
That's sweet. I agree. Okay, girlfriends,
Mm.
boyfriends, bay friends. If you enjoyed this video, which I'm sure you did,
Yeah.
please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Woo!
Make sure that you've hit the notification bell so that you are notified for whenever we're posting.
Period.
Stay tuned for our next episode
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to be diving into Viola Davis's memoir. So excited
So
for that.
excited.
Yeah, guys. But there's something we need to tell them to do. Oh yeah. Before
Mm-hmm.
we leave, make sure that you are following us
On
on
all
all
those.
of the social media. All that information is below. And I mean, see you at the next meeting, girlies.
Bye,
Bye,
girlies.
girlies.